if you could just go into a little bit of detail as to how important, from a religion-related or religious thinker's perspective, the threat of China is, and why we, as people who discuss religion, even domestically in the United States, should focus on the threat of China.
I'll say one thing before I go into that. And that is, you said you focus on domestic issues and culture wars.
Mhm.
Well, China's related to everything. It's almost downstream of it. All that is downstream of the China issue in a way. If you kind of peel back the
Mhm.
curtain, see where these ideologies are coming from, who is fomenting the culture wars, who is using the culture war as a cudgel. I mean, to be honest, like one of the issues here is also that how do we prevail in an ideological struggle when our dominant culture is so self-loathing, like
Right.
we're not even confident in our own values, right? So and we're in competition with China anyway.
Mhm.
To answer your question about the religion issue, at the end of the day, a country that has freedom of speech also has freedom of religion. They are one and the same, they go together. And a country like China that has a firewalled internet, everything is controlled. If you went on Weibo or Chinese social media, you tried to type Tiananmen, you'll get it won't be you won't be able to post it. It's been scrubbed from their you won't get pictures of it. It's been scrubbed from their search engine.
Mhm.
Wikipedia, you can't even look it up on Wikipedia in China. So it's like there are events that are so toxic to the collective memory of Chinese citizens that the government is actively suppressing it, right?
Mhm.
And you think about the way they're controlling speech. This is exactly aligned with how they're controlling religion as well. And ultimately the reason for that is speech and religion are seen as dangerous, right? You can challenge power with either.
Mhm.
Religion, in many cases, can also supplant the state. I think that has always been the
Mhm.
concern of Marxists, who prize the state above all else. I mean, Karl Marx himself said that religion was the opiate of the masses. He had like
Mhm.
disrespect for religion in general, ignoring, of course, the natural human impulse to believe, right? And so there have been scores of sort of anti-woke atheists, even like people like Michael Shermer, who have now come to the idea that, we all advocate for a world with less religion in it. We think that'll be better. But
Mhm.
many of us who came from that perspective in the atheist movement are now questioning that, because we're seeing secular religions form. We're seeing this wokeness kind of take on the features of religion in a way that's making us question that previous position we held on the secularization of the world. We don't know, right? Because it seems like there is a human need to believe and find community, and they will latch onto another thing that looks like
Mhm.
religion. And if you think about what's happening in totalitarian states, North Korea is one, China is one. The state is the religion. They claim they're state atheists, but they worship Xi Jinping. The techniques used is religious in a way.
Mhm.
There's blasphemy. You can't even paste Winnie the Pooh because that's blasphemous. I
Right.
mean, to be honest, I think that the fact that we don't have a CXI variant for COVID is because it happens to coincide with Xi Jinping's name. So we had to
Mhm.
skip 2 letters. We made such a huge, concession to do something like that,
Mhm.
just so we don't, we don't blaspheme the leader. And so you see like trappings of religion. Same with North Korea. So I don't think that, I do think that even though they claim to be an atheist state, like they are still acting like a totalitarian theocracy. There really is no difference
And I'm so
between
glad you
Iran and
mentioned that.
China.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because optics wise, we get attacked by some social religious conservatives sometimes, even still, because, oh, you're an atheist organization. Well, atheism leads to Marxism. So good luck on your adventures. I'm going to mock you a little bit on the side. And I hate that. I hate that, because the vast majority of atheists in the United States, I would even argue, don't belong to the woke cult that took over the atheist community, and certainly don't belong to holding any loyalties to the Chinese communist regime or the North Korean regime. We are actively opposed to that. We are not atheists because we are Marxists. We're, it's very ridiculous. And I think more
Yep.
of us need to speak up against that. Hence why the topic of atheism should still be talked about from a positive sense and not fully ditched just because we're in a different culture war.